Skip it up and that up. So a lot of you guys asked how games like Crysis 3 and Battlefield 4 ran on the Sapphire AMD R9 270X Vapor X Edition graphics card. So here it is. You can see me actually playing the game. I have the counter from Fraps running in the top right corner, and now you can see how the game performs. It's on max settings, full tilt, 1080p. The only thing that I have off, obviously, is VSync, so the frame rate could jump all over. You can see how the game's actually running. So there you go. Tomorrow I'll play Battlefield 4. You can see how that game runs. So Capcom, this story's old, but I'm going to destroy them. Anyway, so Capcom had a shareholder meeting fairly recently. The story is somewhat old now, but you guys wanted me to talk about it, and I sure as shit want to talk about it, and it's still very relevant. Capcom had a shareholder meeting, and they basically said that the fan base of Resident Evil is getting old and won't want to play games anymore. This is exactly what they said. This is a little snippet from the shareholder meeting. The longevity of the Resident Evil title also comes with problems. The main user group is now in their late 30s to 40s, and the average age is also going up as the series goes on, with an increasing possibility that some percentage of the existing users will outgrow games altogether. So they want to do things like collaborate with fashion magazines, make Resident Evil themed rides and restaurants to cater to the younger, more hip generation. So I saw this, I'm like, okay, maybe there's some truth to it. Maybe they're right and we are too old or whatever, even though I kind of knew in the back of my mind that's a crock of shit and they're totally out of touch with what the gaming consumer wants. But okay, so let me do some research. And here are the numbers that I came back with. Is it true that people in their mid to late 30s don't game? Let's find out. So I looked up a bunch of statistics and did some math, okay? Because this is what Capcom did, I'm sure, and you know, this is what shareholders and all these people are always worried about numbers, so I'm sure this is what they do as well. And I did the same thing, all right? And this is just the United States, okay? This is just the United States. So according to the U.S. Census Bureau, there are 316.80 million people living in the United States. Now, that's everybody, male, female, kids. All right. Now, I also looked up stats that the ESA had. Okay. So I did math here. So 58% of Americans play video games. So if you do 58% times, what the hell was it again? 316.80 million. Obviously, you have to round a little bit off. Like I said, kids, babies, whatever. Or as my numbers here, excuse me. That means that out of that 316.8 million, approximately 744,000 people play video games. This is just in the States. All right. Now, going back to the ESA, they also have what age brackets. This is where you're going to shit. Okay. 32% are under the age of 18 that play video games. 32% are 18 to 35. And here's the shit kicker that pretty much makes what Capcom said irrelevant. 36% of gamers are the age 36 plus. So now if you take that 183,744,000 people and you do the math of 36%, that means the biggest demographic, 36 plus, there would be 66,147,840 potential customers for Capcom to sell Resident Evil 7 to in the 36 plus age bracket. So Capcom, did you hear that? And I'm sure there's other, especially the European nations, I'm sure this reflects similar things there, similar statistics there. So are you hearing it, Cap? Are you hearing? Do you look at the same stats that I just did? The most relevant demographic should be the one between that is 36 plus. Because that would, in theory, according to these stats, make you the most money. So why would you say they're irrelevant and put ads for Resident Evil in fashion magazines where females are more worried about what Rihanna's roast beef curtains look like than your fucking video game. Do you think that females looking at fashion magazines or anybody looking at fashion magazines give a shit about video games, especially Resident Evil? You're lost. You don't get. You know what it is. You know what it is. And this is now assumptions. That was all facts. This is now assumptions. It's that corporate I can do no wrong mindset. There was some suit at Capcom who thinks he or she could do no wrong, who said, hey, let's bring Resident Evil in this direction because this is young and hip and this is what people want. And now that it's floundering, this person or these group of people who made this executive decision to turn Resident Evil into shit don't want to admit to their failure because they think they're smarter than everyone and their fragile ego would get bruised. So they rather drive the series into the ground than change their ways because they don't want to admit their failures. What happened, Capcom? You said a few months ago, or whenever it was that Resident Evil 6 didn't hit its 7 million mark, you said that we're going to go back to the roots of the series. You said that, oh, we didn't hit that 7 million, so we're going to go back to what Resident Evil was. I'm telling you what happened. It was the people who made this decision to change Resident Evil who don't want to admit that they fucked up, who want to keep the game in the same direction because then that would mean they were wrong, and they rather sink the whole ship, aka Capcom, with them than admit to their failures, which is fucking pathetic. I don't know this for a fact, but I've been around the corporate world long enough to know this is how people react, and it's pretty sad. Capcom, you're another damn company, man. You got too many egos working there. You have people that should be fired. You got to change your ways and change your direction and change how you're doing things, or I guarantee you by like 2015, late 2015, there won't be a Capcom. This when I saw that article about how they're gonna, younger and hip crowd and cater to a different audience and put ads in fashion magazines, I facepalmed. And I just owned you in like 7 minutes with facts on top of it too. The gaming industry frustrates me sometimes, man. Anyway, folks, this is Rich of Review Tech USA. Make sure to rate, comment, favorite, and subscribe. And Capcom, I know I just made your asshole bleed, so if you need some tissues, I'll go get them for you. Have a good one.